thank you. We're using an old set here, man. Look at this. Look, we haven't used this in forever. Wow, my face is just in there. I didn't move too many things. So, like, we're just in the middle here, and you guys are on my shoulder. You're like the little devil that sits on the shoulder there. Hey, what's going on, guys? How are you? I'm going to turn the music down / off. So what we're doing today is we're going through a supplementary D&D 5e booklet. It's an episodic thing. Here, hang on. Let me where are the words that they gave me? A new adventure and campaign setting they just released. It's by Storm Giant Games, so this was provided to me for free for review purposes and otherwise. So just so you guys have a heads up, I did not purchase this. It's a psychedelic inter-planar bar that will be released 1 issue per month, like an old pulp adventure. So I think that's kind of cool. And so we're going to be taking a look at that. Real Replay, you're on my forehead. Welcome to the factory, dude. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through this. Murdral, welcome as well. And we're going to just kind of take a look at what the book's got in store for us. So this is the cover art here for Nothing Ever Happens at the Looking Glass, a psychedelic interplanar bar / adventure starting thing. So we've got this this group, I suppose, of adventurers here. I'm not entirely sure. This one's eating something. It looks vaguely like a sausage, but every time I look at it, I look at them eating this, and the elf ear like is attached to it for whatever reason in my mental brain, and I think it's a bug. Like it looks like a very Disney bug, like when the Lion King, when they're like eating the grubs or whatever, and they're teaching Simba how to eat bugs. It just, for whatever reason, it looks like the tail of some kind of like bug creature, and that's like all I can see now. That's it. There seems to be some like elvish people here, tiefling, but with wings. So I'm not a gargoyle. Maybe. I mean, this guy looks like he could be straight from the cartoon Gargoyles. Not sure who this gentleman is, but he is tatted up, dude. Just straight tatted up. And I suppose this is a gnome of some kind. So this is the first installment in a new living campaign setting. Find your fortune at a bar between the plains. So Nothing Ever Happens at the Looking Glass. So we've got our introduction, some descriptions, chapter 1, welcome, chapter 2, and then a couple of appendices here that are telling us about the locales, some planar denizens, random encounter, like you roll on the random encounter tables, magic items and stuff like that, monsters and NPCs, and then a bunch of player handouts. And then you have some of these, I guess these are characters within the bar here that you have your stat blocks for. So pretty standard-ish stuff here. I'm interested in how the 2 chapters here, if it's, again, this is part 1 of an adventure, and it releases monthly. So keep in mind that this is a small portion of an entire adventure that you would be playing, right? That would be the expectation. Your group would get together maybe once a month, or you'd wait until there's a bunch of them out and you'd play through those as they come out. So, introduction. You're about to be introduced to the wildest tavern in the multiverse, the Looking Glass. Here you'll meet its unforgettable denizens and learn of the cosmological mysteries that lie in the endless shifting halls. Capitalized shifting halls. This issue is broken into 3 sections: a description of the setting, a new adventure for 4 to 6 4th level characters, and an appendix of unique items, monsters, NPCs, and tables to help you run your 5th edition game in the Looking Glass and the fantastic worlds beyond. So again, D&D 5e is the intended play setting for this adventure, just as a heads up. Okay. Subsequent issues in the series will expand on the setting while introducing new assets to the game, referring back to the information in the issue you're now reading. Great, cool. It's an installment-based adventure. Wonderful. The Looking Glass itself is a bar of high spirits and ornate decor, taking its name from the various windows that peer into the distant reaches of the multiverse. Due to its enigmatic accessibility from many realms and many planes within those realms, its patrons represent the full spectrum of life in the cosmos. It would not be uncommon to see two creatures of drastically different alignments from seemingly incongruous worlds sharing a steaming libation from the skull of an extinct beast. Interesting choice of using extinct beast. The inexplicable wards bestowed upon the bar and the watchful eye of the bartender Aziza, which we have the stat block for, as based on the table of contents there, keep even the most tenuous combination of individuals cordial throughout their stay. Though the regular visitors of the Looking Glass and the bar itself are oddities on a grand scale, the real mysteries lie in wait in the shifting halls. Behind the bar, an expansive, ever-changing network of pathways and rooms connect doorways to the farthest reaches of the multiverse, held in place only by the attention of those who may be watching. In this issue, we will only scratch the surface of the worlds beyond and within the shifting halls, but subsequent issues will bring to light new discoveries. There are many arcane theories as to this place's true relationship to the rest of the cosmos, and has been studied in depth by sages who have encountered its wonders. What is known is that when it was created by a mortal, and not just any mortal, it was created, almost in jest, by a fuzzy little bard. Wait. Is this our bard? Interesting. Okay. Sound familiar? In several settings throughout the history of the world's oldest role-playing game, there are several nexuses of multiverse travel, including a bar of a very similar sort. These locations are a wellspring of inspiration for any player or dungeon master that may stumble upon them. And though we dare not invoke them by name, we encourage you to seek them out. The Looking Glass is both an homage and a compatible sibling to these settings, and was born from the desire for further adventures in such fantastic locales. I just punched my keyboard like a dummy. Wonderful. So Fuzzy Beginnings. I'm assuming this is going to be about the fuzzy bard that they just mentioned. Many years ago in a place that may or may not be known to you, there was a bard of great power and renown by the name of Raj. One name only, like Prince. He was born in a wild forested country known as Alta, famously populated by individuals of the feline sort. Oh, so maybe not that guy, maybe he was a cat bard. Yep, he's got a tail. His tail was tufted and puffy at the end, and his ears ended in little wisps of fur like those of a lynx. In his later years, he took to wearing a variety of colored and feathered hats, cocked atop his striped little head, but his whimsical appearance belied his powerful nature. As time went on, he got very close to a group of adventurers with whom he had been traveling. He sang their praises from seedy bars to dazzling palaces in every corner of the cosmos. They defeated demented dragons, made deals with devious devils, even fractured a phylactery or two. Every experience came with a trinket, a song, and a furtherance of Raj's arcane prowess. In need of a place to put all his fantastic finds on display, Raj created a magnificent museum in a demiplane of his own making, hoping to open it to the public and share with the masses the wonders he had found. Items were displayed with riotous whimsy, large ornately framed windows peering out onto the plain showing views of fantastical places he had been, skulls of creatures he and his friends had slain, magnificent magic items adorning the walls in impenetrable cases. He created the rooms in a winding maze of hallways near the back for his friends when they chose to visit. The entire place was created in his mind as a receptacle for his memorabilia and his treasures. People will pour in, he thought. There will be a line across the cosmos of people waiting to visit Raj's magnificent museum. He cut the ribbon and waited. And waited. And waited some more. To put it mildly, the turnout was dismal. Museums just don't have the pop that they used to. I mean, in the great expanse of time and space, with all the wonders available to a person, would they want to spend their precious copper on looking at things in cases? It seemed that the answer was a resounding no. Raj then had a fantastic idea. Slap some tables and a bar in the middle of it all, serve fabulous drinks, play music, offer wondrous setting for adventurers like himself to come rest and share stories of their close calls and giant successes. It was a huge hit. Word spread across the plains like wildfire, packing the booths and tables with creatures of all sorts, a revolving door of chaos and storytelling. In the end, the perfect reflection of Raj himself, a place bathed in the constant variety of life. That is how the Looking Glass was born, and even 2 centuries after Raj's disappearance, the ale keeps flowing. The description of Raj sounds like someone's campaign where they finally got to level 20, and the DM's like, hey man, we're going to really bring this to a close. What would you do after adventuring? And he's like, oh man, Raj, my little cat bard, he'd totally make a bar to show off all his cool shit. And that's where we ended up. Welcome to the Looking Glass, Chapter 1 of the adventure. Looking Glass is a place like no other. Its arcane workings are a mystery to many visitors, even after years of patronage. The simple truth is that the Looking Glass is a demi-plane of a singular sort. The following rules of its structure are known to nearly all of the visitors Trying to get myself a little bit more cable. Okay. The general features are common throughout the tavern. Some areas of the tavern have additional features that are described at the beginning of their respective sections. Entering, just as entering the astral plane is accessible from any location on another plane, the Looking Glass is accessible from various locations in the multiverse. Looking Glass often creates its connections to the entrance on various worlds and planes at random. At the DM's discretion, a door might appear in their campaign setting, bringing the party inside the Looking Glass. This is probably exactly how this is intended to be used. From everything that I had read so far in this is like, hey, you got a bunch of level 4 adventurers or something like that, or if you want to use this particular adventure, this bar shows up in the next town they're in, they walk in, and, maybe they don't come back out until the adventure's over, right? Sounds way too much on the nose what my bard might do after retiring. See? This is what I'm talking about, Redu. This is exactly what I'm talking about. It sounds exactly like what a level 20 bard might actually do. Raj, sounds like your kind of cat. I mean, anyone that's up for good drinks and good stories, I'm down, man. Absolutely and entirely. Or when they come out of it's someplace completely different. Yes, exactly. And that's in here, replay. So just you wait, my friend. We'll get to that part. It's known that stable doorways to the Looking Glass exist in a few worlds, though the secret of their location is closely guarded. Whether led to an entrance through a veiled hint from an NPC, or merely by walking through an unassuming doorway, the tavern will bring new patrons in through the front door. So that means it doesn't even have to be a tavern door. It could just be a door, just a random door somewhere then there in the tavern, which I kind of like the idea of. Like, let's say they're out in a cave or a dungeon or something like that, and they're like, wow, what's this door doing here? And they walk through this door, and they can like even see the other side or something like that, and they walk through, and boom, they're in the Looking Glass. It'd be kind of fun. Places where your party might encounter a stable entrance to Looking Glass include a gothic mansion sits among a glen of leafless trees. Though the estate is crawling with ghosts, banshees, and zombies, the most sinister inhabitant lies in its partially flooded basement. After wading through its untold horrors, a group of adventurers may find the skeleton of an otherworldly creature splayed out across a forgotten hall, its lifeless hand pointing towards the locked cellar door, a secret entrance to Looking Glass. A roughly carved wooden sign with a set of goat horns hangs over a cozy mountain cabin. It seems that this cabin hasn't been inhabited for quite some time. If the party sticks around long enough, they may catch a glimpse of a satyr approaching the front door. A flick of his wrist, he sticks the stem of a rose into a keyhole just as the first rays of morning sun strike the door. Horns on the sign briefly morph into an image of a hand mirror. The door springs open, a faint mist drifts out. With the clack of hooves, he disappears into the Looking Glass, door slamming behind him. Yeah. So obviously, just put it somewhere. Put it somewhere, right? That's all you have to do. Zombies? Ah, yes, Zombie Fighter 89. Zombies. Those who have entered the Looking Glass often find it difficult to make their way back home. The main entrance to the tavern is not accessible to those within it. Therefore, patrons wishing to find their way back to the place from which they had entered the bar must do so through the shifting halls. Because the endless doorways of the shifting halls are constantly appearing, disappearing, and moving from one location to another, even experienced visitors have a difficult time locating portals. The tavern staff have a unique ability to determine where a door may lead. Lucky them. Each carries a set of keys that works within the shifting halls like a tuning fork. These keys are attuned to various locations and allow the staff to access certain places. Once inserted, the key turns any door into a portal to the place they attuned that key. Okay, so they're just random doors until the keys are turned. For example, a tired staff might wander back into the hallway to return home, inserting a key into his house into a door that leads to the astral plane, temporarily converting it into a door to his home. Okay, so they are random until the keys are inserted. Interesting. Put it somewhere and make crazy shit happen around the entrance. Exactly. And then just like weird otherworldly, other planar things. Like I can, for me, because I like multiverse type stuff, I would probably have like dudes fighting with laser guns outside or something like that, or laser swords. And then they they're like, what the heck is this? Someone's got a lightsaber or something, but then they end up in space because we did that once. Who might this be from? This is made by Storm Giant Gaming. If you check out my here, you know what? I'll post this right now in the chat so you guys can go take a look at their website. This is Storm Giant Games. And so this is one of their supplements. Apparently they have quite a few. Looking at their website here, it looks like, I'm gonna place this in the middle here. how to play D&D remotely. That's pretty apt for right now. Adapting 5e adventures to Dark Sun. That's interesting. Guide to all the available Dark Sun adventures. Neat. They have t-shirts and stuff. And it looks like the first product that they have here for this adventure is going to be the Looking Glass. So there you go. And there's like people that talk about it. There it is. Be a patron. All this jazz. I loot the bodies. What a great word. Okay. So the staff have these keys. They can convert doors to whatever the keys actually lead it to. And the effect ends when the door is shut. Cool. Known by a few that you can provide proof of where you came from, as well as a hefty bribe, the tavern staff may use a key to help you return home. Inventory is limited, however, and they may not always be able to help. Just curious, someone I know is running a Monster of the Week game called Through the Glass, and they write D&D stuff. That sounds eerily similar to potentially what you could use this for. You end in like different dimensional planes or whatever, going to fight different monsters or different things, different adventures. Yeah, absolutely. This like the whole thing after reading this the first time really gave me it's a feeling. This is a particular adventure. This is how it's written. But you could utilize just this beginning setting here, just this entering and exiting portion of this and the staff itself, and just be like, hey, this is your world hub, right? This is your world hub. Now, like in Mario 64, go jump through some of these doors, these paintings, and you end up in different areas doing different adventures, right? Yeah. The table already has twin dwarf wizards who use random doors as entrances for their magic shop. Well, more random doors, and they don't lead to the magic shop. But yeah, I feel like it being like a world hub would be very interesting. And I'm pretty sure this is how the adventure is going to end up playing out, because otherwise, why would you be in here with all of these random doors? So let's just continue. Holding a door. If no one is there to see a door disappear, can you even be sure it was really there? As long as the door in the shifting halls is being witnessed, it cannot alter its location or disappear from its current place, as if the grasp of someone's attention is all that binds it to reality. There are 3 ways that denizens of the shifting halls will use this trick to keep a door active while they pop through into a new location, take care of business, and return through the same door they left without risking being closed off and finding a way back through the primary entrance of the Looking Glass. Yeah. You like the Night Below t-shirt on the website? Hang on, let me take a look. Scrolling. Quick view. I like, that's kind of cool. I don't know what this says, so it makes me nervous. But I like that it's like on this little graph. Actually kind of neat. Okay, so you can hire a watcher. Can you imagine like you walk through a door, you end up in a different plane of existence, and then the door just... it's gone behind you, and you're like, wow, I'm on a different, potentially, planet in a different interplanar existence. How do I find a random door that will bring me back to a place that may bring me back home? Yikes. That's... yeah, maybe. So do one of these 3 things, chat. Hire a watcher. Watcher Cabal is a group of men and women who wander the halls, generally armed to the teeth, offering their services to adventurers who would like to return to the shifting halls after completing some sort of business. They take coin to protect the door, charge hourly or sometimes a daily rate, leaving immediately when the time is up, whether you're returned or not. Yeah. A portabrace, Appendix C magic items, which we'll see later. A construct through which a secret method in the back of the Looking Glass can be purchased for various members of the staff or ordered directly from a delivery bird. Found in 3 sizes, lesser, standard, and greater. Hold the location for an hour, 8 hours, or 1 day before being crushed by the hull's desire to shift. The portabrace is a single-use item. Once activated, expires after the allotted time, regardless of if they are taken from the door early. The thing is about this one, and about the hourly thing too, is that time apparently flows differently within this place, so you could be gone 17 days in the other place, and it may have only been 2 minutes within the glass, but there's no way of telling. So it could be pretty risky to not have something, right? I don't know. Learn Raj's door jam. Raj being the owner, I suppose. Some people are aware of a rare spell that allows them to, when cast at certain levels, hold the position of a door. When cast at too low a level, concentration must be maintained throughout travels outside the hall, which sometimes pose greater risk. Timelessness. The flow of time within the Looking Glass, this is exactly what I was just saying, obeys a different set of laws. Creatures inside do not age. So that means, to me, that's weird, because does that mean time inside does not pass? Because if time inside doesn't pass, then the door should never move if you utilize one of these things that's like an hour, 8 hours, or whatever. I don't know. That's weird. Unreal materials. Nothing that originates in the looking glass can be taken from it. Table, chairs, drinks, and other furnishings dissipate in a glittering mist if removed from the looking glass. So you can't steal stuff from here. Good. I've seen some players that would steal the clothes off their fictional mother's back. Yeah. Magic? Yes. True, Redu. It's just magic. Many spells have altered effects when cast within the looking glass, including spells cast from magic items or artifacts, class abilities that duplicate the effects of spells, spells that attempt to transport a creature out of the tavern, pass through walls, transmute materials, or communicate over long distances are all ineffective. This brings a whole thing about, like, how do clerics function in this place? Clerics, paladins, and other divine casters may use their abilities within the entirety of the looking glass, though there is much discussion on how this is possible. If a world apart from that god is traveled to, a new god must be sought for access to similar powers, as gods' powers may stretch between planes in their world, but might not be accessible to other worlds. Some followers have found methods within the bar itself to bypass the rule. Tricksy guys. Also leading to theorizing amongst many sages and theologians. Theologians? Theologians. I hate this word already. Planar windows. A cluster of circular windows are inset along the back wall of the tavern. These ornately framed portals are the tavern's namesake, referred to by savvy patrons as looking glasses. They display scenes from all across the multiverse, creating a colorful collage of every shade of existence. One may wonder why simple planar viewports would garner the attention that these looking glasses do, often crowding the back of the bar with dozens of experienced adventuring parties. Their popularity is due to the fact that these looking glasses seem to only appear in moments of high emotional stress. So my entire anxious life. Attuned to the latent ley lines of emotion that permeate the expanse of the multiverse, these looking glasses are more akin to natural phenomena than a magical item, and cannot be dispelled or removed by any means. Every time a sufficiently rich emotion is felt, regardless of where it may be happening in the multiverse, it is likely drawn the attention of a looking glass. So it's like watching soap operas all the time. I guess that's what that would be. Or potentially murders all the time. It could be really interesting. Trickster gods wouldn't mind lending powers for other tricksters. I think that would be, especially if they're like in different planes of existence, right? They're just like, yeah, dude. Or like different worlds. Like, yeah, sure, why not? Haha, you're Trixie, I'm Trixie, you know, pow, 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 you know? It's super easy. Each creature focused upon by a looking glass is in need of something. Perhaps they need to find a lost item, locate a beloved person, exact a revenge on a foe, or send important news to a loved one. It's almost always the case that a creature with this degree of desire is willing to pay, trade, or barter to get something done. Should your players wish to look through the looking glass, consult Appendix A, Looking Glasses, to determine which creatures and locations are being displayed. Random tables, chat. Gotta love random tables. Just make good jokes to me as payment. That would be the best. Well, I say that would be the best god to work for, but I think I'm funny. They would probably not think that I'm funny. Yeah. What do you find, chat? Breathtaking variety of oddities and relics adorn the walls of the looking glass. Many of these items were collected by the tavern's proprietor or gifted to the tavern by the adventurers who uncovered them by visiting various planes. Other relics that mark the walls include those held by adventurers who died within the tavern, or items that were lost in a bet with Aziza, the Afridi barkeep. Okay, apparently Aziza is an Ifrit. Interesting. Some of the more powerful relics that adorn the walls are protected by the tavern's magic. The staff deems an item worthy of protecting. The tavern will sheathe the object in planar energy. Patron attempts to steal one of these objects, the tavern will react by releasing the planar energy and creating an effect similar to the wild magic surge. If a creature attempts to remove an item from display, use the tavern protections table to determine the effect. Hey chat, let's grab a D20, huh? Maybe I should have already grabbed one of these. Hundreds. Also, you like my shirt, chat? You got that Baldur's Gate going on. All right. Pull out a D20. Uh-oh. I got dice bags and dice bags. Kind of a... There we go. All right, so those are my my dragon dice. The ones for Rekko. So let's get Rekko's D20 out here. Don't slap shackles on her or bad times incoming. Oh, jeez. All right, so perfectly even. Get ourselves a 10 here. The purple key made of crystal. If used on a door in the shifting halls, it leads to a massive banquet hall with food and furnishings and serve a 9-course banquet for 100 people. That's actually pretty awesome. And 19. Faceless voodoo doll with elven ears. Any effect targeted at the doll instead targets the nearest elf. Within 120 feet. That's kind of funny. Taxidermy crocodile head. Throat functions as a bag of holding. Very funny. Okay, cool. Tavern protections. Let's just roll 2. Natural 1. The target is teleported into a room full of pillows and baby toys. Room has no exit. An extraplanar travel in or out ceases to work. After 1 hour, the door appears, leading to the shifting halls. Just sit. It's your timeout room, chat. You shouldn't have touched that. No. You go to timeout. Number 4. Target becomes 3 years old. A greater restoration spell can restore a creature's age to normal. Otherwise, target returns normal 1 hour after the item is returned. Fun. Party full of elves would have a nice time with that. That'd be very funny. It would be very funny and very unfortunate. Anyway, so there's a bunch of these things. It looks like there's 20 options each here. So you just roll a random one, see what's up, and you continue on with your life, right? And some funny stuff will end up happening. I'm not going to go through all of these because otherwise you would have all the ideas already. And if you really wanted to, you could screen cap this and then look at it later. But I know you guys aren't like that. Patrons. Oh, random patrons. Natural 20. Oh, boy. A gnoll bites into a freshly severed arm. A dwarf confronts him, saying he recognizes a tattoo of the arm, but the gnoll swears he found it in the shifting halls. Ah, yes. Good. An 11. Knight, fully clad in black armor, burns scraps of paper at a table. He's buried an important artifact somewhere and destroying the map at the request of his sentient sword. Yeah, so just different things that you could use as, party. The party can get involved in any of these particular things, right? So this is the looking glass, the map. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so you guys can get a little bit more of the complete look of this while we do it. But yeah, story hooks, exactly. And I think that's what like most of this bar is. It's just like, it's story hooks. Look at this little snowman table. I didn't even notice this here. This looks like the card table, except this is actually a card table. But like, this looks like a card table. And there's like teardrop shaped ones. What's with the weird? This is a weird table. I don't like it. This one unnerves me. Odd. Huh. Okay, so there's the entrance, so where you come in to any of this. The living room, so I guess where you just sit. Number 3 is the bar, big bar. Wow, that's it. That seats a lot of people. 4 is the depot. Okay, I'm assuming that's where you walk in and get drinks. I don't know what depot means in this context. Maybe I'm just dumb. The booths, obviously booths. Green room. So it looks like there's like a TV sitting area here. Kind of interesting. 7 is the betting floor. Obviously go gambling back here. 8, Disco's Deli. Oh, so I guess they serve food out of here. 9 is management only. So this is just where the management is. So there's just like a place to relax as well as do business. I'm not sure what all of this is. What are these for? And then there's a set of beds and a couple of rooms here. 10 is the shifting hall, so it's in the back. Interesting. I don't know. What are these? What is like, they're just like benches? I don't understand if... Oh, are they bookcases? You know what? They're probably bookcases. That would make way more sense. Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. Cool. So here's the areas. Oh, actually, we'll actually know. Great. The entrance, a dense mist obscures the path forward in this seemingly infinite hallway. I'm going to zoom back in here. Amber walls lined with various magical artifacts and oddities. Thousands of stars twinkle in the ceiling above as a meteor streaks overhead. Mist obscuring the hallway is a precautionary measure of the tavern to prevent unwelcome visitors. Mist radiate no aura of magic nor reveal any alignment or sign of life. Obscures vision. The bar staff can see through it to see new visitors. If they deem an entrant unwelcome, the creature will find themselves navigating an infinitely long hallway of mist, never progressing towards the tavern. Oh, that seems awful. The living room, mismatched tables. Yeah, we noticed that. Chairs, furniture seemingly gathered across from the multiverse populate the main taproom area of the tavern. Wild decorations from the farthest reaches of the multiverse dot the walls, seem to gently heave in and out as if the tavern itself was breathing. Shrunken heads, taxidermy creatures, fine weapons, scrolls, tapestries, ignored by the vast assortment of creatures populating the tavern. Dancing lights float joyfully overhead. Wild birds flit about the rafters. The vaulted ceiling rises to 40 feet, but exposed wooden beams create rafters 20 feet above the floor. Walls in this area have heaved due to the strange planar distortion of the entrance, which is a convergence of many planes and worlds. Early patrons noted the walls at the front of the tavern appear to be breathing, which is how the main area got its nickname, the living room. Oh. Any character who succeeds on a DC 10 Wisdom perception check notices the wild birds seem to be dropping down to tables and booths, taking orders and flying them to Area 8. The bar. Patrons gather around an oak-top bar with an ivory inlay, while a dark-skinned man with white tattoos makes drinks behind the bar. Floor-to-ceiling shelves behind the bar are filled with exotic liquors and ceramic mugs that seem to contain a vague outline of a face. The left side of the shelves, an iron door with brass filigree is locked and bound by chains. To the right of the shelves, a massive skull of a dragon hangs high, with a dazzling magic weapon below it. This is where Aziza does their work, an Afridi who always seems to be on shift in this area constructing exotic cocktails. Great. He knows how to make all of the things. Wonderful. Magic weapon on the back wall is a magical scimitar, rumored to be unable to be drawn by anyone except the genie themselves, who only does so in times of great need. Not exactly true. Any creature with elemental heritage can wield the sword. The depot. Now I get to actually learn what this is. The door to the back room opens to a small, rickety wooden platform, hangs over a pit that descends downwards toward a purple swirling vortex. The walls are lined with hundreds of metal shelves full of any type of food or drink imaginable. A thick chain rattles the air, descending 200 feet before disappearing into the swirling vortex. Kept under lock and key, bar staff may access it. It's rarely accessed, only being used when a patron of the bar is exceptionally rare order. Chain in the area causes the shelves to rise and lower so the staff can access the desired item. You fall down the shaft. You land on the floating gear 100 feet below. Oh, gosh. Interesting. Any character who falls in the shaft into the planar vortex is disintegrated. That's tough. That's tough right there. Booths along the side of the walls are sheathed in darkness except for a luminous blue orb that hangs overhead like a chandelier hanging from a chain. Benches are exquisitely upholstered in red leather, indeterminate provenance, while the tables seem to be made from gold and silver scales. Regulars populate the booths. Luminous blue orb hangs overhead. Pressing the orb magically encases the booth in a bubble of silence. Nice. Thoughtful. Really used for secretive discussion amongst patrons. Yeah, seems good. Or when a group is rowdy, you press the bubble and there they go. Can't hear them anymore. Green room. A set of couches flicker with green light from a green fire lit within a dark slate-wrapped fireplace. Worn ornamental rug is dotted with blood stains and scraps of bandages. Old dusty books rest on bookshelves to either side of the fireplace, seemingly placed without any rhyme or reason. Areas typically reserved for those coming back from or preparing to enter the shifting halls. Creatures permitted to use this area to prepare spells, bandage wounds, discuss battle tactics and plans. It's just a very private place. If you rest in this area, you find your wounds heal exceptionally quickly when healing by the warmth of the fire. Need to take short or long rest is drastically reduced. Healing magic always heals the maximum amount possible. Read the books kept here, as they often contain valuable information about planar creatures, hazards, and locations. Write down any new information. The occasional spell scroll can be found within the books, remnant of a particularly generous wizard who had time to spare. Does seem generous. The betting floor. Table covered with various graphics, rooms, numbers, and other symbols sent in an area crowded by greedy bettors. Bettors shout numbers, place gold pieces on the table while watching the back wall, where the looking glasses can be seen. You take bets on the looking glass. A single Modron stands observing the table, watching the bets being placed, seemingly unfazed by the shouting. You make bets on various things seen through the portals. Everything from success or failure of a quest, winner of a fight, sometimes even betting on the random behavior of animals. That is enforced by the use of a Gaius spell, which a bettor willingly submits to when placing a bet on the table. Modron's a dealer of sorts. He simply clarifies rules and odds, change out the symbols on the table when necessary. Every hour on the hour, the Modron clocks out and is replaced by a new one. Should things get hairy at the tables, Modron alerts bar staff who attempt to resolve conflict. Appendix A, looking glasses to determine which creatures and locations are being displayed. Interesting. Could make for an amazing roguelike dungeon room. Yes. Yes, exactly. It's such a hub world. It's absolutely a hub world, which is pretty cool. I believe that the Oh goodness, what's the one in Waterdeep from Dragon Heist? The one, the yawning portal functions very similarly to where the portal leads you down through various levels of dungeon. So it's a very similar thing, except this is going interplanar rather than like dungeon crawling. Disco's Deli. Thick window appears into a battered hut made of bamboo and thatched with white sand beach. Various cooking implements hang from hooks above the tables, covered with fresh fruits, fish, and curing meats. Setting sun in the background illuminates a wild-haired man fishing under a nearby set of palm trees. His name is Disco, proprietor of the deli. Disco resides in a faraway world on a remote island and makes handsome living running the kitchen here, which only serves the looking glass. Lucky him. Only sound can pass through the window to Disco's world, with the exception of tavern birds. The birds fly down to the tables when summoned, where patron gives them a food order. Flies through the glass window, relays food orders to Disco via permanent animal messenger, before flying back to the tavern. Cooks the orders, passes them through the window, rings a bell. Okay. Can speak to Disco directly, but he's not aware of the true nature of the looking glass and cannot see any creature standing on the other side. He's aware of the strangeness of the talking birds relaying orders, but doesn't really care about it. Okay. Management only. Single yellow wooden door contains no handle, a small sliding peephole which is currently shut, and a wooden sign that reads management only. Might notice birds landing on the handle, pecking a secret knock, which alerts inhabitants. Sliding latch opens, bird flies inside. Unknown to patrons, these birds report the goings-on of the patrons, relaying conversations heard through the tavern and detailing as much as they can observe. Okay, makes sense. Umlaut and Ubathon. Record as much information as birds and waitstaff bring them and conduct experiments for altruistic reasons. They've been searching for Raj, the owner of the looking glass. Information gathered helps them understand the workings of the multiverse, as well as the current affairs of the various locales. Okay. Concoctions they brew are more often than not used to assist some of the search party members that travel the multiverse looking for Raj. The members of the search party can occasionally be seen entering the tavern and heading straight for this back room. Often disheveled and injured, they rarely speak to the patrons. That could be an interesting thing, too. The adventure could be just to find Raj. Huh, so they're doing interesting experimentation. Here's an alchemical laboratory. 2 high-back chairs, alchemical workstation, several shelves, laden with material components for spells and such. The library. This is what I was like, what are these things? It's a library. I'm dumb. I thought they were benches. It's a library. That makes way more sense. Books and manuscripts line the shelves constructed from petrified wood. Hold the collective wisdom of hundreds of visitors looking at hundreds of visitors to the looking glass. My mouth didn't want to work. Along with a few spell books and scrolls. Many useful pieces of knowledge can be found here if one knows where to look. Subjects include maps, poems, and hundreds of other tomes. Okay. Writing desks in the room. Cool. Yep. Bedrooms. Umlaut and Ubathon share a single bed chamber. Table assembled from planks laid across barrels is covered in notes and scrolls. Second bedroom is typically kept neat and tidy for the occasional visitor. There's treasure in Umlaut and Ubathon's room. Holds 4 sacks made from bear bladders. Each sack contains 1d4 100 platinum pieces. 4 potions of invulnerability are hidden under the false bottom in the chest. All right, so piece de resistance, the shifting halls. Looking through the archway is a dizzying sensation. A series of bridges and stairwells seem to reflect each other at impossible angles. Okay, so it's an MC Escher painting, creating a lattice of suspended pathways around a large open dome. Its networks of routes bustles with crisscrossing activity as creatures of all types duck in and out of doorways and disappear down halls that warp out of view. As you approach the archway, as if turning a kaleidoscope with every step, the paths fold in upon themselves, flipping perspective and collapsing, until at the threshold you stand in a singular stone hallway. This is our extra-dimensional network, chat, lined with doors. Many of these doors are portals. Some are simply doors that exist in the tavern. Portal doors are constantly appearing, disappearing, moving from one location to the next, but even the regulars of Looking Glass have a difficult time locating the portal they're looking for. Yeah. So you can investigate random doors, and the Appendix A will determine where a door might lead. So this can help you out in deciding if you're going to just use this as a hub world. Like, okay, Appendix A, Looking Glasses, where did these go? You can kind of just build off of that, I guess. So this, the Gift of the Fey Princess, I believe is the beginning of the actual adventure. Okay. So our story starts with a group of adventurers happening upon a curious tavern. Cage Fellings, an old gnomish traveler, has a quest for them. One that will absorb them in the relationship of the bar's strangest patrons and lead them through their treacherous passage of the shifting halls. The adventurers complete Cage's quest, they will be rewarded with a wondrous item and a guarded secret that may change their lives forever. The Gift of the Fey Princess is a short, 5th edition adventure designed for 4 to 6 characters at 5th level. I think that said 4th level at the beginning. I'll have to let them know that it should be, I think the early portion of that said 4th. This adventure can generally be concluded in a 2 or 3 4-hour sessions. Okay, so that's actually really short. And it's designed to be easily dropped into your campaign for a quick detour, or as the start of a longer stay in the Looking Glass hub world. If you're planning to play through this adventure as a player, stop reading now! Hey Minx, what's up? Didn't you realize how many solo adventure books there are for even just 5e? There are a lot of things for 5e. So many things. I think 5e really exploded the popularity of D&D all over again. It really assisted by actual play podcasts and web shows, because it also became easier to play and easier to think about. But yeah, Critical Role did it. I don't doubt that they were a large part of it, but I don't want to discredit other people that have had influence within the uprising, the surge of interest in 5e in the last 3 or 4 years. Yeah. Okay, so chat, if you think you're going to end up being a player for this is where you stop paying attention. Okay, this is where you go find something else to do, and then we'll continue going. All right, so hang on. I'm gonna give you a countdown here. Okay, we're going. Our adventure starts with a bar between the plains. Looking Glass is a fabled tavern located everywhere and nowhere all at once. Bar is used as a meeting place for those who travel, the many doors of the shifting halls, and such is the crux of many strange adventures. Learn more about the details, layout, blah, blah, blah. That's up at the top. Awesome. So we have all of these current guests. This is Aziza. Okay, Aziza is known for fantastic drinks, short conversation. His commands will be escorted out of the shifting halls by the iron golems under his command. Nice. Nice. You Googled solo D&D adventures, came up with over 1,000 DM-less games. Whoa, really? 5e also inspires creativity and improvisation, though it's less draconic rule set. No wonder there's a lot more stuff. 5e is better than a better and simplified version of 3.5, 3rd, and 4th. What was I saying? Hello, Entree. What's up, man? I haven't played a solo DM-less. I've seen a lot more people going that way. I don't know if you guys have seen, I think it's Ironsworn, but that's a separate TTRPG, so that's not D&D. But I think it's Ironsworn is a solo one that's apparently really good. So something like that. I haven't played a DM-less anything. Maybe that's something I should do so I don't have to DM. So, this is our barkeeper. Awesome. They're a genie. Sweet. They have iron golem bouncers. Double awesome. We'll take a look at them more closely when we get to the monsters and NPCs. I think a lot of these are going to be in here in the Appendix D. Yeah, it looks like all of these are. So Cage Fellings, this is going to be our interesting guy. This is the one that's going to give us the quest. He's frequented the Looking Glass for decades without ever making a close friend. That's sad. Damn, dude. He has to retire from adventuring, but has one last place he must go. He spends all of his time in the bar trying to find someone who can show him the way to the Fey Glade. Feels he walked away from his one true love. Huh. So I guess you're trying to find his one true love. That's what this sounds like. Pathfinder Beginner's Guidebox is one that's decent. Takes maybe an hour to enter a pre-group adventurers, basically. Teaches you the basic rules and whatnot. I've never played Pathfinder, but everyone that I've ever talked to about Pathfinder says it's very number crunchy. And meh. I kind of feel meh about like crunching a whole lot of numbers. I'm very much so a role play advocate over like number stuff. I don't know. But again, I've never played it, so I can't fully say anything about Pathfinder. I'm just saying I've been turned off of trying it due to the things I've seen other people play and what people have told me. Yeah. Trista and Wairu. Fey beekeepers. Beekeepers? From the Fey realms don't come to the Looking Glass often, but when they do, they tend to keep to themselves, speak in unison, their voices harmonizing in a way that makes them both eerie and alluring. After catching a satyr stealing their honey and learning that his thievery was a requirement for an infernal debt, What? Tristan and Weir have made their way to the Looking Glass to find and destroy the Devil's contract. They'll do whatever they can to complete this mission, but are always willing to pause for a bit of mischief. Why are they risking life and limb for this? For a satyr? I guess I don't understand what that's all about. Sereth, a male palm devil. What is a charming palm devil? The palm devil. Appendix D, monsters and NPCs. What page is this? This is 14. All right, we're scrolling all the way down, chat. Look at all these pages. You see this? Oh, it's not scrolling over there, but it is on my screen. Okay. Huh, Ubathon. And there's Umlaut. Wow. Cute. Palm Devil. What is a palm? Is Sereth a palm devil? Or is this a palm? This is a protoplasm. I guess you look like a gargoyle, dude. You look like you're straight out of the Gargoyles cartoon. Don't even tell me otherwise. I mean, I like it, but but still. I was hoping for, I don't know what this means. Special mortals, gazed upon with admiration by the lords of the hells themselves. Asmodeus shows a tainted respect for those that he may so viciously trick the emissaries of his will. I keep wanting to know why they're called palm devils. What does palm have to do with anything? Okay, here it is. Forced to fulfill a quota of contracts to keep the halls of order from falling down around them, devils are permitted to partake in a certain method of making deals where a handshake is all it takes to form a contract. That's why they're called palm devils. Okay. I feel better about this now. Let's go back up. I was like, what does this even have to do with anything? So don't shake Sereth's hand. Don't do it. They're Fae. Making sense is not the thing that they do. Oh. That's one of those things that I haven't played or haven't included in any of my adventures is the Feywild. I've never done that. I've never done that. Maybe I should. I've definitely dealt with like devils and stuff. Yeah. Whatever he can, Sereth will try to make a deal. Once the other party states the terms clearly, he'll seal it with a firm handshake and a disarming smile. Yeah. Yeah. Akra is a rakshasa. That's the like tigers with the inverted hands, and they can like change their shapes and stuff. In the Waterdeep game, there is a private eye who's actually a rakshasa, but the party never figured that out, which was fine because there wasn't really much for them to figure out. He just like happened to be a rakshasa and happened to live on the same street as them and was a private eye. So it was kind of just like a random thing, but it was kind of fun. Always appearing in the form of a beautiful human, Akra wields her power with grace and poise. She uses the second to last booth on the western wall as a hub of her expansive planar trade network, the Diamond Dispatch. Huh. Nice. Our story starts with a group of adventurers walking through the front door. Welcome to Looking Glass details some places where they might be found, though any door will do the trick. Upon opening the door, the sounds of voices and otherworldly music pour out, borne on a thick mist. As the last character enters, the door closes behind them with a thud and disappears. Honestly, you'd love a raunchy sleepless night adventure in the meeting of a nymph. Go Feywild. Minx, no. No. We are family friendly here. I can't say that seriously. The walls of the thin hallway are made of glowing amber and inset with dozens of strange trinkets. Path before you is obscured by low-hanging mist. We talked about this. We've already done this. Yeah. Items on display are part of the owner's private collection. Ideas for what they might see. Shooting stars continue overhead as they emerge from the entry hall. Eventually, they emerge into the thick mist into the Looking Glass. Cool. Descriptions of the bar room, the bartender, and what they're doing. Welcome to the Looking Glass. The party's just begun. So Aziza will greet the party plainly as they approach. Slide a menu across the bar. You can hand out a copy or two of the Looking Glass menu. There's Appendix E, player handouts. Wow, look at that. Including a menu. Whoa, very cool. Aziza's unwilling to barter, doesn't respond to jokes or flirtation. Ah, I see who this guy is now. Yeah, that dude looks pretty hardcore. Looks like a man that just gets the job done, huh? And that's what the cut to black phrase is for. True. Okay. He get the ability to dismiss any punishment inflicted by the wards of the bar or the entry hall, though he does not feel required to do so. Okay. Occupied with any sort of... The bar is occupied with any sort of NPC you may desire. That's also... You have that, like, rolling table. I dropped my dice. So you can just roll a bunch of them and see what's up. Or you can just use some of these in here. Guess Thunder Truss, female Hathwork thug. Gruff member of a crew that pilots a spacefaring ship. Yes! Okay, so my idea of them, like, there's like being a laser gun fight outside the door to the bar is totally fine. We can totally do that. Yes. Sanctioned. Spacefaring ship called the Dragonaut. Awesome. This is where you have, like, the bar existing on this plane and then also in Dark Matter. Which, if you guys haven't seen the Dark Matter thing, I did a review of that as well over on the YouTube. Dark Matter is really cool. We actually did a game for that, too. It's called The Revengers. Very fun. Very cool. Spacefaring D&D 5e stuff. Very nice. Quidge, Bronk, and Lennox gulp wildly from a slammer as they gossip and goblin about other patrons of the bar. Cool. Theodore Cubbington. Human noble. Ko Crayola? Female high elf priest. Eats a plate of some sort of fritters and dipping sauce. Oh, this is Cage. This is what Cage looks like. Oh, look very young for having such a white beard. Very kind of anime. Interesting. You have huge eyes, Cage. Like these, I mean, like the size of these eyes. So, you know, eyes are like roughly spherical, right? Which is why yours are kind of small in your head because, you know, they go just as far, they go pretty far back on that radius. This would like his eyes, if they were full circles, would go to like the back of his skull and they'd be like this. Do you see how big that'd be insane. Can I draw on this? I think I can. Yes, like this. This is how big his eyeballs would be. That's wild. Look at this. Now just drawing eyes. Good review, Runaway Robot. Let's draw some eyes on this gnome. Yes. Look at how big this thing is. Like a big one-eyed beholder. Oh, I'm leaving that. Cage's quest. After the party's taken a moment to get their bearings, get a drink, spark up a short conversation, Cage waits the crowd towards them. He'll instantly start showering the party in honest-to-goodness compliments. He reveres them instantly if they're great heroes of legend, and is sure to outline any great quality of which they may be proud. After a moment of this adoration, read, the gnome scans your group with awe and admiration, his wide eyes made even wider by his gold-rimmed spectacles. Pushes a golden pendant around his neck as he speaks. I'm Cage. Been here looking for a group of adventurers of your caliber for a long time. Would you humor me for a moment and join me at my table? This is how he gets you. Now, they ply you with drinks and compliments, chat, then they ask you to come home with them. You know, you gotta watch out for these types. You gotta watch out. Man. He compliments many patrons as he passes their tables. He's ignored by the patrons at Looking Glass for no other reason than he's fiercely uncool. Oh, no. Fiercely uncool. I hope I'm never known as fiercely uncool. That is aggressive. Wow. That is insane. I just want one underline. There it is. Wow. Too late. Get out. I don't care if you're my mod or not. You can't call me that. You can't call me fiercely uncool. Cage will order anything the party may want, suggesting a slammer or two if they're unsure, from the grotto bird, who quickly flies off. The back of this bar holds doorways to every world. Hot, cold, scary, wonderful, they're all back there. They call it the shifting halls because as soon as you stop looking at a door, it may well have never been there in the first place. Shifted away, out of sight. Cage stares off into the distance, lost in memory, his eyes getting blurry with tears. I've lost my way to the Fey Glade, the home of my one true love, my wonderful princess. He sets his golden beetle pendant, an old pouch of coins, on the table. "I'll give you everything I've got if you can just help me find my way back to that specific door. There are many doors to the Fey realms and the shifting halls, but only one to that glade. You may be the only ones who can help." All right, Big Eyes. Let's see what's up. Although Cage will not part with his golden beetle pendant until the job is done, he allows the party to keep his coin purse merely by promising they'll find a way. They find 63 gold pieces, 6 silver, and a mundane purple rabbit's foot that Cage swears is lucky. If you choose to inspect the golden beetle pendant or ask Cage about its properties, it'll explain it in detail, telling them how it's often saved his life and promising them will be good friends of theirs if they sing it a merry song. The party pries a little. Cage recounts the story of meeting his love. Cage's first visit to the Looking Glass from his home world was an accidental entry through a barrel in which he was hiding and turned into a long quest to find his way home. In his search through the infinite doors of the shifting halls, he stumbled upon many fantastic adventurers, most notably his encounter with a hag and her toad-like henchman who had come to extract a secret from a princess of the enchanting Feyglade. The princess, Terrestra, is significantly more powerful than Cage, and he knows this, though he speaks thoroughly of his own heroism defeating the toad beasts and wicked witch. Jesus. After the creatures had been vanquished, Terrestra invited Cage to stay the evening with her in the glade to rest, at which time, through an innocent night of conversation, Cage fell hopelessly in love. He'd only ever hired a watcher for one night, though. If he was ever to find his way back home, he had to leave first thing in the morning, promising to return to her as soon as he was able. Unbeknownst to Cage, Terrestra is a powerful diviner for whom great secrets of the future have been revealed. She's hoping to tell Cage of great danger that approached the multiverse, but he had fallen asleep cozily as she was talking, and left in the morning before she could notice. Now she awaits his return, defending herself from those who may misuse this information to share the message with the true hero that may save them all. Hang on. I need to add some more notes here. True hero. Fiercely uncool. There it is. Add devil's horns? I've got horns now. Yes, these are terrible horns, but whatever. Ah, yes. And that's, there it is. I was going to give him a mustache, but he's kind of already got one. There it is. Cage Fellings, the true hero, fiercely uncool. Poor guy. He didn't deserve this. He didn't deserve this. It's fun, though. All right, fiercely uncool Cage. He's apparently the true hero. So we've seen. Finding the doorway. There are two characters that will lead the party forward on their quest. Trista and Wairu, who sit at a triangular table on the eastern side of the living room. They with their hoods up, speaking quietly with each other. The party will need to do some investigating to find out that the Sylvan twins have come through the very door the party is looking for. A DC 15 perception check, looking specifically for fey creatures, will find them as well as a host of other fey creatures at the bar. Right, there was the patrons that were already there that were fey creatures, the beekeepers. These are twinsies. Now that I've found that I can draw on this, I'm drawing all over this. Trista and Wairu. Two beautiful Sylvan sit at their table speaking in a native tongue. One drops their hood and greets you in common as you arrive, revealing their long elf-like ears and shining platinum hair. "Well met, strangers. You look as you seek something, maybe a little fun." Last line is they both speak simultaneously with harmonious lilt as the individual with their hood down gestures for your party to take a seat with them. They listen with glee as they speak to them, clapping and squealing at even the most mundane statements, particularly those that may include an air of mischief. Oh no. They live through the door of the Feyglade and know how to find their way back to it easily. They say simply by following the smell of our honey. Ah yes, these are the beekeepers, by the way. Who'd have thought these are the beekeepers? Hang on, more notes. Keeps bees. That's a bee. Buzz, buzz, buzz. I'm having way too much fun with that. Okay. To prank a devil, Tristan and Wyrie present the party with a beautiful noon drop flower and explain they would like the party to secretly place a few of the petals into Sereth's drink. Why? They would do, he'd float up to the ceiling, burping soapy bubbles. Oh, they're literally doing the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory thing. Tristan and Wyrie show great delight at the prospect of Sereth looking like a fool. God. Sereth will instantly become enamored by any creature with a charisma score of 15 or higher, abruptly pausing his conversation with the half-elf noblewoman he's speaking to in order to greet them. Oh, well, look who we have here. The devil extends a hand to you, his wings opening and closing slightly behind him, as if to beckon you closer. He is unnervingly handsome, and his eyes burn with a calming candle-like flame. He stands from his chair, leaving a brilliant red scaled bag draped over its back. I know all of the beautiful people at the Looking Glass. I pride myself on it, and here you are, making me look like a fool, sneaking in beneath my gaze. He shakes his head with disappointment and sips deeply from his goblet. I don't believe we've met. I'm Sereth. Truly, the pleasure is all mine. Brings more meaning for the term honey trap. True! True, those bees, man. So much honey. Sereth drinks red wine out of a silver goblet. A charisma check will engage him to set down his wine, occasionally picking up his goblet for long, slow drinks when he becomes skeptical or bored. Yes. Sereth's not easily angered and would love to corner them in a deal of some sort. When he notices someone tampering with his drink or becomes subject to the effects of the noon drop flower, he becomes angry enough to attack. Roll initiative. Roll it for Cave, Tristan, and Wyrie as well. Here's some things for the NPCs that are sure to do during combat. Sereth, he's floating near the rafters. He'll use Corrupting Wave. Otherwise, he'll attack whoever's deceived him. Tristan and Wyrie, on their initiative, if they see an opening to do so, will snatch Sereth's red-scaled bag and then leave a jar of honey. Then they'll misty step out of sight and dash into the shifting halls. Wow! Cage will hide beneath the nearest table. Great. Grants them inspiration. Taunts Sereth. The other patron, as the second round of combat starts, the rest of the bar will begin to use this chaos to let off some steam, starting their own fights, and some even throwing objects at Sereth as well. Great. Aziza will interrupt the fight. Enough! A resounding voice ends the noise abruptly. A dwarf freezes mid-punch, a look of horror on his face. A group of goblins scamper quickly behind an overturned table as a pixie flies into a jar in the wall, and their pink light dims to a faint glow. The only sound remaining is a cup rolling in a wide arc over the floor. All eyes on the bar, where Aziza stands with flames burning brightly in his eyes, the air around him warping with heat. Who thought it was a good idea to make a mess of my pretty bar? His voice is deep and crackles like heated charcoal through his thick accent. He scans the horrified crowd with his glowing ember eyes. The flash of movement, every patron in the bar points to your group. Good luck. Okay, so I think this just leads you through the adventure. So here's the deal, chat. I don't want to go through the entirety of the adventure because otherwise, why would you play it? So the point of a review is to get a good feeling for what's going to be happening and to get some idea of what you're going to be getting into. It's an adventure. You're going to be trying to help out this guy. This is part 1. This will be released in month-to-month installments. So the adventure continues on. You're going to meet people, look at all of these different people. You're going to find things, explore the shifting halls, and you're going to start your adventure. And there's a bunch of random tables and stuff. And look, there's Terrestra. That's who you're trying to look for right there. She's beautiful. Wow, look at her. Great. And then there's more adventures. Cool. So now, what's in the looking glasses, chat? Wow, there's a lot going on here. Oh, I can use my D100. So far, find a specific door to the Feywild and get paid. Exactly. This adventure seems to be go to the Feywild, a specific door, get paid. Yeah. And it seems, I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, right? Okay, so here we go. I've got 2 die here. These are my percentile die. Let's see if they go any higher. All right, well, yep. So it goes all the way up to 100. Awesome. So 26 is, and these are the things that are in the looking glasses, places that you can even go and places that you can watch. Deformed hill giant sipping on a barrel of ale. Now, why would he be having such a strong emotion? Maybe because he's very sad. 32 are very happy. Duragar desperately attempting to build a shelter. Maybe he was abandoned. That's 26 again. 48. Half-elf woman bundled tightly in heavy clothing. So these are just different things that you'd see. 25. Dark Lord in plate armor pulling a dragon skull by a chain. Okay, that sounds freaking metal. I love this one. I love this one. Hey, what's up, Otaku? So these are the different things that you'd find in the Looking Glass things. The Looking Glasses, not the Looking Glass things. And then you could take doors to them. So planar locales, different ethereal planes, Asgardian locations, demi-planes. Okay, so these are just telling you different places that you could go if you wanted to roll on tables for random doors, right? Turns out the skull was his pet. Maybe that's why he's so sad. Hey, Remy from Storm Giant here. That table and next few go together. This one and then these? Oh, so I guess it would decide whether and where it goes. So, hello, that's Remy from Storm Giant Gaming. This is one of the people in charge of this adventure. Also, welcome. Hi, welcome to the factory. How are you? So I guess you would roll on that first one, and then you would roll on each of these tables. Instructions at the top, pick the person, place, and what they're doing. Oh, shoot. I probably should have read the instructions. I'm really bad at doing that. Chat could tell you. Can you be used independently or in tandem to generate a planar adventure? Example, the planar locale tables could be used to determine where a random door within the shifting halls leads, or you could roll on the planar denizens table to determine what type of creature is seen through the looking glass, then consult the planar locale and quest tables to determine where the creature is and what they seek. Interesting. Very cool. Actually, I just really like the Dark Lord plate armor pulling a dragon skull by a chain because it just seems so metal. I want to play that adventure now. So cool. You could do a locale. You could do secondary locales, and then what things are on each of the different planes. Cool. Massive forest of coral. Each of these different places that you'd end up. Mechanus locations. Interior of mechanical storm. Workshop of clockwork mage. Rotating halls of massive archive. Pandemonium. I always just loved the word pandemonium and the fact that it was a place. It's kind of awesome. You'll fade into the darkness now? Well, hey, thanks for coming out of the darkness for a couple seconds. Everybody wave. Everybody wave. Say hi and say bye. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it, man. Okay. And so all of these different things. Material plane locations. Very cool. So this is all just random tables and stuff you can do quests on. And even like quest, look at this. Break a friend or a loved one out of prison, return home, don't remember where it is. All of these different things that you can do. It's a very good hub world. Very good. You don't want to end up in pandemonium? Yeah, I get the feeling you don't, but it's also a very fun word to say. So I'm going to stick with the word being fun and not go there. You'd want to end in pandemonium? Oh, I don't know about that. Okay, so this is a different one for random encounters. Random encounters can occur at the shifting halls. As you get further from the looking glass, things tend to get stranger. Remember when we were talking about the shifting halls? It's like an MC Escher painting, but there's also stuff happening in there. So I guess it gets kind of chaotic. More unusual enemies, stranger doors, and unexpected scenarios can be found as you travel deeper. Random encounters are best used whenever there's a lull in the game session. You guys don't know where to go? Random encounter! No more than 1 or 2 per session is recommended. Yeah, since overusing random encounters can bog down the adventure. This right here. I'm gonna add a note. Let me. No more than 1 or 2 per session is recommended, or even any. Overusing random encounters can bog down the adventure and cause players to lose track of the story. This is very important. I don't know how I can make this more clear for some DMs. You do not have to have an encounter every session. No. No. You don't. Golly. I'm mostly a forever DM, but some of the few times I have been a player and you end up in combat for 6 hours, 4 sessions in a row, man. Encounters, yes. Combat, no. When I think of encounters, I think combat because that's how they've been used in my experience with other DMs. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Well, and like this, like there's other stuff in here. There's merchants and things, which is great. Sage, shady transaction, shambling mound shield. But there's also fights and stuff that are pretty. I mean, like, what are you gonna do? A barbed devil is just gonna like let you go? Not all combat, not encounters need to be combat encounters. Okay. I guess that's a better way of putting it. I had the misfortune of every encounter being a combat encounter. Let's do it that way. This actually gives you things. Look at this. Barbed devils are tearing apart wooden crates containing ceramic pottery and other decorative fixtures. Perfect. Oh my god, they're actual encounters and not combat. Oh, love it. All right, I feel good about this. Very cool. And there's so many of these. There's so many of these. This one's combat, 3d6 gnolls. That could be 18 gnolls. Whoa. They're cursed to miss every time? After 2 or more gnolls are killed, they easily surrender. I'm glad I finished reading that. I was like, wow, that sounds like a really hard encounter, even for some level 5s. That's a lot of gnolls. And they're cursed to miss. Oh, everyone knows that feeling when the die just don't go your way. I have been, and speaking of the very same game I was talking about where every encounter was a combat encounter, it was in a time where all of my rolls were garbage in combat. My social rolls, great. My combat rolls, atrocious. And I was playing a rogue. I could do nothing. Anyways, that's funny. I think that's funny. Cool. Lots of different options here. Hey, actual gargoyles. Very neat. Shield Guardian, Slave Masters, Sprites. There's so much. Holy crap, there's so much. Wow. Random magic items. Cool. So these are going to be magic items that are likely in your adventure. And they also come with very cool art. The little noon drop flower. That's neat. It's Fey Honey. Cool. I'll be forever stunned by your ability to turn even encounters I'd planned as common encounters to become not so ready. Oh, that's right. So those of you guys that don't know, dudes that didn't ready to know each other, but yeah. That's the golden beetle pendant that we were talking about. The porta brace, does it have a picture? I want to know what this looks like. No, it doesn't. Dang it. I want to know what this looks like. Pair of petrified wooden blocks. That's it? Linked together by a brilliant electrum rod. Okay, that's kind of cool. You just like, it's like what are those called? It's like the floating rod. Like you extend the rod and it just like hangs in the air and it just holds there. What is that magical item called? Just like magic rod or something. I don't know. I wanted to see a picture of this. We have the pictures of the other ones. Immovable rod. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, like, okay, this is it's a pretty, like, considering that these can be made very pretty. And this is like, it's a rod and wooden blocks, man. You want a picture of this? Like, yeah, man, there's pictures of the other ones. I like art. I like art, and I like making art, right? Like, look, let's give this guy little antennas. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. This is where he came from. I like art. Okay. Spell descriptions. So I'm assuming these are spells that we will find within the use of the adventure itself. Cool, I like this. It's a stowaway. Safely hide a willing creature along with anything they are wearing or carrying inside a harmless demiplane. Dude, I want this. Like, for our day and age right now, chat. Also, wash your hands, by the way. Chat, everyone go wash your hands right after this. Just put me in a little demiplane. Picture of it is just a giant block of sensor. Raj's door jam. I wonder if Raj's door jam just, like, looks like this. The porta brace. You touch open a door, window, a gate, or chest or other entryway, opens to its widest point and becomes unable to be closed or moved for the duration. Monsters and NPCs. Akra the Hungry. It is a sausage. It is a sausage. It looks so much like a bug with that elf's ear coming out of it on the picture. Oh man. So descriptions of, oh, this is the Rakshasa. Oh. Green eyes. Should we give her ears? She's a Rakshasa, so she's actually a tiger. Here's your ears. There she is. Do, do, do. Do, do, do. There's our Rakshasa. Perfect. Aziza. So all of these backgrounds and stuff too. Again, not going to go through all of these because otherwise, why would you get the thing, right? But you can take a look at the fact that there's all of this stuff, an entire background for all of these things, the statistics of each of these, like this Rakshasa, but you just go what they are and you can update these. So in Roll20, we've talked about this before. I do most of our games in Roll20. So what you would do is you'd go to the Rakshasa tab, you'd drag and drop the Rakshasa onto a table, and it would pull out the character sheet and it would put it in your journal. Then you'd go into the editing, and you just edit these different things in there, and you drag and drop a +1 greatsword onto the thing, it automatically populate, and then you're done. You've done it. You've updated the thing. If they ever get into combat with Akra the Hungry, which hopefully they shouldn't, because these devils are, well, Rakshasa are nuts, man. Very tough. Same thing with this guy. Like, here's the full character sheet for Aziza. 22 strength, 24 con. Yikes, dude. Wow. Wow. He's also large. He's actually sized large. Oh, that's awesome. I like big lads. He has a luck blade scimitar called Cinderfang, ring of mind shielding, and a ring of X-ray vision. If he dies, his body disintegrates, leaving behind only equipment. Huh. He can spell cast, banishment, calm emotions, detect evil and good, detect magic, dispel magic. He's very strong. He's a very strong guy. He has 3 weapon attacks. Or hurl flame twice. 5d6 fire damage. Dude's spooky. Here's Cage. Aw, look at him. Look at this little guy. He's a little bard, right? Yeah. He does Bardic Inspiration. A bunch of spell stuff. So yeah, what you would do is you just like, you just make the NPC thing in Roll20. Super easy to do. And you can drag and drop all of these spells now into the NPC slots. Super easy. Very nicely. Very, very easy to do now. The Fey Beekeepers. Oh, goodness. Honey Bomb. Beekeeper hurls a magical honeycomb at a point. Honeycomb explodes, covering each creature in the area with thick, sticky honey and releasing a swarm of bees. Each creature in a 20-foot radius is centered on the point must make a DC 14 dex save. The swarm spreads. Creatures take 10d6 piercing damage. Holy crap. That's a lot. Is his Bardic Inspiration right? 2 a day. Creature within 60 feet can hear Cage gets D10 inspiration die. He should have 3, right? I think he should have 3. I'm pretty sure Bardic Inspiration is once per charisma mod. This could be just, so here's the deal. Yes, Retu, but also this could just be a limiting factor for him. Right? They could be utilizing this as like, okay, he's only going to be part of that fight like for a little bit, and we're only going to give him 2 Bardic Inspirations because it's only supposed to last like 2 rounds, you know? And like if you give him too many, then maybe they're too strong. Is it caster level plus charisma mod? Oh god, you guys are going to make me check. Never played a bard. That's why it's good for players to know their things, because otherwise, here we go, chat. Where's inspirations? Bardic Inspiration. Number of times equal to charisma mod. It's just charisma mod. Use this feature a number of times to your charisma mod. There it is. Easy peasy. The honey bomb is hilarious. When a beekeeper is hit with an attack, it can momentarily transform into a scattering swarm of bees. That's funny. They can then magically teleport. They can maintain telepathic conversations with 10 creatures at a time. Whoa. They'd be the best at playing telephone. didn't realize I still had the drawing thing on. Sorry, guys. The grotto birds are the ones that take your orders. Protoplasm is one of the things from the adventure. They look pretty cool. Sereth. Oh, let's read about Sereth. The Palm Devil. Here he is. 22 strength, 21 con. He's a big boy, too. Damn. He uses unarmed strike or corrupting wave. What is corrupting wave? Fire damage, necrotic damage. Ah, interesting. He can dominate person and fireball 3 times a day. It's just charisma mod. He actually has one more use than his charisma mod, but then he splits them between taunt and inspiration. Well, now I gotta go back and read this. Hang on. Oh. Ah, okay. So this is the split. Bardic Inspiration twice, Taunt twice. So technically he's getting one more use. He's getting one more use out of his Charisma mod. Ah, okay, cool. That makes sense. I'll take it. So he's like slightly stronger than he should be. Works for me, man. So that, like, from what I read initially, it looks like he's not trying to be involved in the combat, and as well as he shouldn't be. You want your party to be more involved in the combat than like a random NPC that's helping them. So just being able to do the Bardic Inspiration or the Taunt or something like that. I mean that's fine. I think that works. Stupid bomb. This honey bomb thing is the best. I love this. I want more of this. As there's no taunt as baseline, I got confused. Yeah. Okay, we clarified. All right, so he does unarmed strikes or corrupting waves. So he can do corrupting wave once and then melee attacks. Mark of Reckoning. Target must make a DC 17 con save. On a failed save, target's reduced to 0 hit points. Oh. On a successful save, the target takes 55 10d10 necrotic damage and is marked by the Palm Devil. Until the mark is removed, Palm Devil knows the exact location of the target at all times. Palm Devil can terminate the mark at any time. Target can use this action on a turn to attempt to remove the mark, doing so with a successful charisma check. Mark is also removed to the target, and the Palm Devil are no longer on the same plane of existence. They can mark 10 creatures. Oh. Wow. That's very strong. Swarm of bees! Ubathon. Oh, look at this guy. He's adorable. Hi. I can imagine his voice right now. Hi. I'm Yertle the Turtle. My name's Ubathon. I'm a spirited turtle who resides in the Looking Glass. He's awesome. I love him. Very cool. Okay, and then Umalat. So these are the two that are working together, and he's got a little umbrella hat. Why does he have this? I love it. Cool. He's an accomplished bard as well. An affinity for mechanical and alchemical creations. He's known to some as a bartificer. Delighted to create things. Musical compositions, magical concoctions, or mechanical contraptions. He's got very, very pink hair. Love it. Very cool. He uses a whip. Ah, see, here it is. So he's got +4 here. There's his Bardic Inspiration, +4. Okay, so they just split the two. So this is the Looking Glass. So these are the maps that you would utilize if you had this supplement. You utilize this map for your players. And then here's this is the menu that they were talking about. This placer beats the Slammer, sparkling white wine from the land of Colossal Shore mixed with sweet dancing monkey fruit juice. Cause it to emit a never-ending stream of orange fog, served in a large bowl for 2 or more patrons. Okay. A day in the life. Strange liqueurs of different densities stack in a rainbow column. Cool. The horse you rode in on. Toughest drink in the Looking Glass. Aziz's secret recipe. Simultaneously spicy and bitter. Can it get its name from this flavor of saddle leather? Expensive habit, a mix of ripe apple brandy, scorched agave liquor, and filtered greatwood tree sap. Now, reading these, I want a really nice old-fashioned right now, man. Just like a really, really nice old-fashioned would go a long way with me. Mm. The Well, assortment of ales, liquors, and wines across the multiverse. The Heroic Selections. For 1 hour. Oh, so you buy these and they do stuff. This is the Spider Queen. When you drink this rich dark beer, you gain a climbing speed equal to your walking speed for an hour. Huh. Elf Juice. When you drink light golden wine, you gain the following benefits. Magic can't put you to sleep. You remain awake during long rest, still gain benefits. Dude, you get these to go. Oh, never mind. Any liquids originating from take it from the bar turn into a disgusting sludge. Dang it. I was like, oh man, we can get some sick to-go drinks. Wow. No one has to sleep for 210 gold. I assume these are gold. No one has to sleep. Cool. And that brings us to the end. Again, chat, we didn't want to go through the entirety of the thing line by line because otherwise, why would you get the thing? Additionally, it's already been like an hour and a half of us going through this, so I'm pretty sure we covered most of the stuff. So let's come back up to the beginning here, and I'll do some last thoughts on what I think about it. Nothing ever happens at the Looking Glass. Final thoughts about this. Stuff's happening at the Looking Glass. Plenty of things are happening at the Looking Glass. In general, the Looking Glass seems like a very good hub world. There's a lot of really good ideas here for how your party could be using the Looking Glass. I like the idea of this being able to put your party in different situations across not just planes, but actual dimensional existences. I'm a fan of taking players and putting them, they were playing D&D 5e in a traditional medieval setting or whatever with magic and stuff, and then I threw them into space. It was awesome. And it really could make for a good one-off kind of thing, right? So if you're like, oh, you're missing a player for a day or something like that, the rest of the players end up going to the bar. It ends up being the Looking Glass, and they go on an adventure in space or a different plane or help this gnome find his lost love. So in this first adventure booklet, that looks like what you're doing. Again, this would be updated. It seems like the statement was monthly. It would be updated, so there would be more adventures coming out of this. It's for up to four to six level 5 heroes. And I want to go make sure that the beginning of this also says that. Yeah, this right here. So I don't know if Remy's still here. So this says new adventure for 4 to 6 4th level characters. Later in the adventure, it specifies 5th level characters. So you might want to just specify which one that is. But yeah, that right there. So it is 5th level characters, I believe, because that would make more sense than 4th level characters. 5th is like a really good solid point to go into some really bigger, much bigger adventures, much harder things. But yeah, notice a myriad of oddities of watch you do this, that one included. Excellent. I'm glad that we can help in some way, shape, and form, man. I appreciate you guys giving this out to me to go through and for the community to take a look at. If you guys missed the beginning of this will be put up on YouTube, so no worries about that. And you'll be able to take a look at all of this stuff as I had shown it previously. And then you can also head on over to the website. That's stormgiantgames.com. I'm going to go ahead and put that back in the chat again. If you would like to pick up a copy of the first one of this installment of Nothing Ever Happens at the Looking Glass, you can get it there on their website. And I believe it comes in this PDF format, huh? So that'll be that whole thing. Again, some more final thoughts on this. The adventure looks like it's going to be fun. I like that the first one is, it seems like it's going to be a short, encompassed adventure. It seems like you can go through, it's stated that you can go through these in 3 to 4 hours, about 3 or 4 sessions. It's cool. That's cool. You can even make these one-offs for every month, right? Like your party goes back to the room at the Looking Glass and they do another adventure, right? So as a hub world, I think it makes the most sense. 5th level might be too high to be beginner friendly, but otherwise seems to bang on the nose. That is a good point, Redu. And it does seem that this is made to be slotted into either an existing game or to be utilized as a separate format, and you'd have to get people warmed up to it being like a 5th level thing. But the thing is, right, the adventure is for 5th level. I think the Looking Glass in general could be for any level, right? You can have your level 1 characters who've never met each other. They all happen to wander into the same random door on the street or something like that for various different reasons. And now they're in the Looking Glass and their adventure is to find their way home, right? They don't know where they came from. The door disappears behind you. And now their entire adventure is, how do we go through all of these different planes of existence to find our way back home? Much like our gnome friend that we're going to be helping out in this adventure anyways. All right? So it's things you could do. $6, color me tempted. Any plans on implementing this stuff on virtual tabletop like Roll20? Ooh, good questions. Dev, any plans on implementing stuff on virtual tabletop like Roll20? I think what would be cool would just to be like get the, you know, token art, the NPCs implemented, and like the art and stuff. That'd be very cool. Hope to in the future, yeah, all the items and creatures are in D&D Beyond. Oh, that's good. Okay, cool. So items and creatures in the D&D Beyond. So what we generally do is when we have adventures like this, and if we're provided the art assets and stuff, I go make all the tokens and things, and the NPC tokens and all the maps and things in Roll20, and I just import them all myself. But any time that those are actually in there makes my life as a producer as well as a DM so much easier, man. So much easier. It makes it, oh, way better. Also, I got an also from a dev. What's up? Tell me about it. I'm listening intently. Also, Runaway Robot in the promo box, get it for $3. Heck yeah, that's right, chat. Put Runaway Robot in the promo box, get it for $3. That's $3 reduce. Thank you, Storm Giant Games. I appreciate that. Get yourself Nothing Ever Happens at the Looking Glass. $3 using promo code Runaway Robot. Wow. Wow, would you look at that? That's awesome. We will also put that up in the YouTube. I'll put that on Twitter and stuff too, so you guys know whenever we post all this stuff final. As we do normally on these reviews, you guys get to see it first live here on Twitch, and then it goes up on YouTube, and then everyone else gets to see it. So I appreciate you guys being here for that. $3 are going to be vanishing from my bank account. I love to hear it, man. I love to hear it. That's awesome. Buying now. Fantastic. This is the stuff I like to see, man. This is stuff I like to see. The community at work. Chat, the community at work. Thank you very much, Storm Giant Games and Remy. I appreciate that. We'll be wrapping this up here. So chat, if you were here for this lovely review of Nothing Ever Happens, The Looking Glass, thank you for being here. This has been Runaway Robot in a review session. If you want to find this on the YouTube later, that is going to be youtube.com/runawayrobot. I'm going to post that up in the chat right now, too, for those of you guys that don't know that yet. So that'll be up this week. It takes me a little bit of time to edit these things together and then upload them and add, like, title stuff and whatever. So it'll be this week. So cool. Thanks for being here, guys. I super duper appreciate it. I'm going to take a brief break. We are not done for the evening. It is 8 p.m. We're going to go over to our other scheduled thing, which is me playing Doom.